Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing 3 real student stories that you might feel relate to. They shared openly so you know that you're not alone and that transformation is possible. 3 different levels and 1 shared result. Confidence, ease, and joy in violin playing. Finally knowing how to let go of the tension and mastering the technique with more confidence and ease. When you nurture the soil, your foundation, everything above it grows with ease. You will hear how commitment, clear guidance, and the right habit building created freer sound, calmer body, and the real momentum to progress faster than ever.
And we had about 3 or 4 lessons, and then I had a recital where it was just me, and it was the first time I never played with my teacher for a recital, and it was amazing. I just was relaxed, and the bow arm was just, it wasn't crunching anymore. That was such an accomplishment that day.
I've studied with some very fine violinists, but not all of them had to work through. Some of them were just very natural players and they never had any trouble. So I would come to them with troubles and then they wouldn't quite know how to answer me because they had never gone through that process. You've gone through that process. I have to say that even though we're studying at a distance, I still feel like I've learned more from you in the last 6 months than I've learned from several of my other violin teachers.
I think after 4 lessons with you or something, people were like, what happened? You sound so much freer, and just the sound is so much, it resonates more.
It is how important when someone tells you, oh, your hand is not properly placed, and you can do it perfectly from from America to Europe. I don't understand how can you do it, but you can.
Be sure to watch this video till the end to experience 3 different levels and see what could this look like for you. And if these stories resonate with you, and if you want to explore more about Effortless Violin Mastery Program, which starts in a week with limited spots available, book your discovery call at the link below and enjoy the stories. Tell me where you're from and then how long have you been playing the violin? Brief history of your violin.
I live in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm 66. I started playing the violin about when I was 47. And I might have taken 1 year off there. But I've been taking lessons that whole time. And I'd say the first 3.5 years, I was taking lessons and not playing anywhere with anybody. And then I had a recital and it was a big disaster. I listened to myself and I was like, I haven't made any progress in all this time. And I thought I need a new teacher. So I got a new teacher, and that was very informative. And that was the first time I started hearing about kind of like, the geometry of the bow arm and kind of more mechanical stuff. I'd never heard any of those terms before. And that didn't last too long. And then I found another teacher, and that lasted a few years. He was a really good teacher, but you can, especially when all your mechanics are wrong. And I built in all those bad habits over at that point 4 years. I mean, I felt like mentally I was making some progress, but not physically. Just so my sound was just totally, crunched. I was totally tight. I was feeling all kinds of tension. Got another teacher. That didn't go too well, whatever. And then I got another, so I don't know how many teachers, 5 teachers or whatever. And then I heard about body mapping. Then I came across your video where we got to work one-on-one, and like in the space of that time, I felt really great, right? Like just like that was going to be my path forward. Like being able, just the awareness of my body and the tension in my body. So that's how I came to be connected with you. That's my journey. Just a lot of frustration. And then I started playing in ensembles, a small adult orchestra that was, meant for beginners and intermediates. And that's how I started playing with ensembles. And I've been doing that for 8 years, something like that. But just being frustrated with, here's some difficult music, and just not being able to get it. And still the sound, always the sound, tight, crunchy, not pretty. Just frustrated, like, oh my gosh, I put in a lot of work. Why is it so hard? And why am I hitting all these plateaus? Or basically walls. Just not being able to, if I see a 16th note, I freak out. And I also have terrible performance anxiety, right? So in an ensemble in the back, I'm okay. But put in a recital, I'd fall apart. Okay, it's time for the seconds to play. Oh, then I have my little episodes. So just nervous and just not confident, not relaxed, not enjoying it as much as I thought I should be. one of the things is I was astounded at how fast I started to make changes, and part of it was in the awareness, just to be aware of what was going on in my body while I was playing. And then there's a lot to uncover there, and I just keep staying aware of what's happening. So, initially it was just like, oh my God, there's all this tension in my neck. Just what's happening? What's going on here? So what happened, like with you, is just I became more aware of, just how I felt standing there, how I felt. And then as I was playing, to be more aware of what was happening. And you just right away zeroed in on like this hand frame and my hand shape here. And then of course, what's happening with the bow, just to become aware of it. And we've been working a lot on this hand frame and just the relaxation in this. And it's a big difference from how I've been used to playing. So we're still making progress there. But just right away, that relaxation I could feel. And we had about 3 or 4 lessons, and then I had a recital where it was just me, and it was the first time I never played with my teacher for a recital, and it was amazing. I just was relaxed, and the bow arm was just, it wasn't crunching anymore. That was such an accomplishment that day. There was a little bit more freedom here in this arm, but the bow arm, just the not the tightness of it, just to be able to let it, the gravity, that's how the sound of the bow and the string with the gravity, as opposed to pressing. The focus, your ability to just like see through the forest, right? To go into what will make the most of an impact. Right? Oh, it's this left hand right now. We got to work on that. Okay, that's settling in. What's next? Oh, let this bow arm go. So every time we're always like seeing what is the most important thing to work on. And I love too how you've structured my practice and what I'm working on. It's sort of grown. It like really honed in. We were focused early on. A few etudes, a couple important things to work on, and that's expanded, but never becoming overwhelming or like I don't know what I'm working on. In years past, I was just like, it just grew and grew, and I felt like I was all over the place. But working with you, it always feels like it's incremental, stepping stones. It's structured. I always know what I'm working on. It's like this part of my practice is going to be this, next it'll be this, then that. And it all is just kind of growing together. Never feels overwhelming and then, the other thing I love about you, well, there are 2 things, is one is I can talk to you about anything. Like I can say, I'm just having a hard time. I can say, oh, I'm gotten overwhelmed with this, and then we'll hone it back. Or, with everything going on in life, I'm having a hard time finding time for practice, and we'll talk about that, like techniques for, well, number one, you can't always expect to be like, hey, today I really want practice. No, set time aside, make it a priority, be disciplined about it, and then other techniques for how to get motivated when I'm feeling like that. So I love that I can talk to you about any of that. Or I have a recital coming up. I'm really scared. We talk about ways to approach that, and I just love how grounded all your suggestions are. Just really big, kind of first principles. I don't know how to explain it any other way, but really resonates with me. And then the second thing I love is with previous teachers, I never felt the support. It's like I'd go in and I'd say, okay, worked on this really hard, and it would be like, okay, well, how about this? And it's never like, damn, don't I get a little bit of credit for what I did? But you're always like supportive, like, oh, that's pretty good. And now what can we do on top of that? Or, you say you're proud of me or what. I know I'm a grown woman, 66, but I need that. It really helps.
I really appreciate every word that your acknowledgement really means a lot to me, because I really see your potential, and then I really see your commitment and desire, and then I also see like you really like playing free in the orchestra, and then I'm just like rooting for you, and then knowing what to work on. So I mean, this part is gonna be not in the video, but like this is just how I feel right now listening to you. So and
Thank
then
you.
what
Yeah.
that you've been doing and really engaging with me is all like paying off, and then that just adds to your progress. So that's why I'm so proud of you, because you just keep going, and the commitment and dedication is like the most important values as the violinist who want to really grow, because a lot of people quit when something doesn't work out, or if they get discouraged, but you just keep going.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Coming from you, that really means a lot. I'll just give you an example of, well, I feel a lot more confident. Okay, I just feel so much more confident. So the example is in my trio. Okay, so I have this, comes out of the school that I had a teacher with. And so it's a piano, a cello, and me, and we have a coach. And, so we were playing together for 9 months, something like that. We've done a couple recitals or whatever. And I'll listen to those recordings and I'll be like, okay, whatever. But now I go in and everybody in that group says, oh my gosh, what happened? Okay, so that was, I think after four lessons with you or something, people were like, what happened? You sound so much freer, and just the sound is so much, it resonates more. And so that, whatever, that's a confidence boost. But I just feel like, come on, let's go. Let's try this or whatever. Whereas before I was kind of like, oh God, I hope I can make this sound good. I just feel more confident. So, and in general, I mean, I'm not like 100%, I still struggle with that, right? I'll sit down in another group. I just started with a quartet and, we're all getting to learn each other and we're looking at recite reading a lot of new music or whatever. And in general, I feel pretty confident. Once in a while, it'll be some tricky piece or whatever, and then that'll be a challenge or whatever. When you feel confident, it's just like, let's tackle this, and you'll come to a challenge or whatever, but that's a challenge you can meet.
Huge mindset shift that just
big one.
Propels you forward. Yeah,
yes.
I love that.
Are you hesitating to work with Dr. Han? Don't hesitate. Okay, because she's amazing. And the program is amazing. Wouldn't it be nice not to feel that frustration, right? And it is possible not to feel that frustration. It is possible to make progress. Putting in all that effort, this will be just a game changer. It's a real game changer. So don't hesitate. Sometimes, when you're working that hard and you're just like, why am I not making progress? Working with you, it's like, oh, I see what's going on there. There's just a lot of moments where it's practical, understandable, practicable. You know what you can work on. Oh, okay, if I had tackle it like this. I just don't know how to explain it, but it's just, it's a game changer.
So things are clear what to work on, and then you work on it and you make the improvement, and then
yeah,
to work on just like incremental stepping stone.
Yes.
You're growing from, and then that's where the confidence is coming from.
Oh, there's so many dimensions to it. Okay, so there's so many dimensions to working with you or your approach, right? There's the first foundational, you have to feel good in your body, you have to feel grounded, you have to feel relaxed, like from your feet all the way to your head, right? There has to be this alignment. There's that. There's, oh, are you breathing? There's the what's happening with what? And I've wanted that for so long, right? Like, what is wrong with my hand setup here? And you go in, there's so much going on there. It's not just the hand frame, it's the relaxation, it's the angle of the fingers, all of that. Elbow, arm. On top of that, it's the sound. What's the sound quality, right? So there's this, auditory dimension. So it's the body, it's the mechanics, it's the sound, and you've also helped me with tackling repertoire. Like how do we approach this particular piece? How do you phrase it? What should it sound like? All of that. So with you, it's these, it's this multi-dimensional approach. It all comes together. It's all super helpful in a very supportive, understandable, practical package. Don't doubt yourself. Do not doubt yourself. And that's another thing you help with too. I mean, I do doubt myself, right? I mean, that's something I struggle with. I mean, we all do, but that's what I say about when I mean it. You are so grounded, first principles, right? Like if you're, that's negative self-talk. Well, how do you, and it isn't just like, hey, be positive. It's very specific suggestions for how to tackle that mindset. So yeah, don't doubt yourself. Find some practical strategies to combat that negative self-talk, that negative self-perception, because, it is just how you talk to yourself, and it's a choice how you talk to yourself, right? So why not choose something that will move you forward, and that's totally doable, right? Well, just try it, and wouldn't it be nice not to feel that frustration and to feel some progress and to feel some joy in your playing. That's possible. That's totally possible. And it's awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means a lot. And then I'm sure like your message is going to inspire a lot of
I
violinists.
hope so. I
Yeah,
hope
so
so.
you bring something
Yeah.
amazing with, what you've done so far. So I really honor that and acknowledge that, and I appreciate your time for
Thank
doing.
you. Thank you.
I've been playing the violin for several decades. I started when a lot of young kids start. I was about 10 years old when I started. I started off as a violin performance major in college. I didn't end up getting the degree, but I still maintained the love of the violin, and I was a pretty advanced player. So I've been playing most of my life doing semi-professional work. I joined the musicians union. I got hired for jobs, and certainly was playing at a high enough level that people would still hire me. But I had a lot of issues with shoulder and back pain, to the point where a 3-hour gig, like a violin and piano job or something like that, would be, by the time I got done with the job, my back was just in knots. I knew that there was something not quite right with the alignment and everything like that. But I honestly, at that time, I didn't know enough about the violin and my own body awareness. And this was probably maybe a couple of decades ago. And I've been through a number of teachers. Right before I ran across you on your YouTube channel, I was really struggling with retraining. In 2011, I had to take some time off from playing the violin, and I really wanted to retrain at a professional level, but I was having a very hard time, especially with the left hand, with consistency. Nothing I tried, and I tried working with local teachers and everything like that. I still felt like it just wasn't working at all. But then I ran across your channel, and you talked about holistic violin pedagogy, and I don't know, it just really struck a positive chord with me. It made sense, and I mean, I didn't know you at all. I didn't know your studio. But I thought, I should try to give it a chance and see what come of it. And I was one of your founding members for the Effortless Violin Mastery. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I became one of your students. I have to admit, it's been hard rebuilding because it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought maybe we'd start playing big pieces and all this kind of stuff. And then we go back to Schrodiak and scale studies. And I've had to really reframe how I play the violin. But I've discovered, since I've been listening to you, and I had a good friend that said, you should just listen to her and take her advice and just do it. And so I've started finding out that a lot of the problems that I've been having with the left hand are not as much of a problem as they used to be. And of course, that's just one hand. Obviously, there's the right arm, but I think the biggest thing for me was just consistency with the left hand. I have to say that even though we're studying at a distance, I've never actually met you in person before. This has all been over Zoom. I still feel like I've learned more from you in the last 6 months than I've learned from several of my other violin teachers. Well, one, you have a phenomenal ear. You really do have a wonderful ear, and you're very nice about it, but you don't let things go by. Were times where, I thought something was pretty good, and you would show me where it really wasn't. And again, it's been difficult to work that into my practice, because I think a lot of times we hear ourselves differently than other people hear us. One of the things that you've taught me over the last 6 months is how to be more self-aware, not only with my violin playing, but also with just my body awareness, things that you bring to violin teaching, like yoga and other things, and your experience with, having to deal with pain in your own playing. I've always said that some of the best teachers are those that have had to work through their own difficulties. I've studied with some very fine violinists, but not all of them had to work through. Some of them were just very natural players, and they had never gone through that process. You've gone through that process. And so that, I think, in my mind, makes you a better teacher. So even though I'm only taking lessons online, the things that you've been able to give me over the past 6 months have been really invaluable. And I honestly, the only problem right now is the fact I haven't had enough time to really implement everything that you've been teaching. But I look forward to continuing to work with you and implementing some of those things. Oh, it's much easier. For so long, I was gripping the violin neck, and everything had to be a lot of pressure when I put the fingers down, a lot of the hand just relaxing. And also, I would have this tendency to push out with the wrist like this, and which would cause more tension. It just sort of, catapulted. But now I have to think about it a lot. It's still not natural. It doesn't come second nature to me, but I do think about it, and it's much easier. I feel like I have to work less, and there's certainly much less pain and much less tension in the left hand.
Yeah, so it feels easier. And
Yes.
how about your confidence level around violin progress?
I feel more confident. I think the more I practice, the more confident I will be. But just the things that you've taught about the not only with the left hand, but also posture. Well, even learning how to play without a shoulder pad. I mean, that's been huge for me. I finally made one of the ones that you had on your channel, and it actually works really well. I love the flexibility that it gives me. I don't feel like it's something that's locked onto my shoulder and that I have to rely on that for for leverage and all that kind of stuff. So in that sense, that's freed me up. It's freed my playing up. I would have to say that my playing is freer now than what it was before.
Your sound is more resonating at the difference.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah. See, like freeing up the space here, actually freeing up the space on right arm just automatically. You're gonna work on the forearm more, but like that's actually halfway you're there, because when you get tight here, your arm gets tight too.
Right.
This is part of the coordination that comes with like freeing up space.
Well, I would say give it a chance because I did, and I just turned 60 years old. So a lot of people would say, well, why are you trying to learn how to play better? You're too old, you're whatever. And I think that I'm capable of playing as well or better than I did 20 years ago by studying with you. So I would tell somebody if you're playing in pain, that's not right. Everybody has discomfort and aches and stuff like that. But if you actually have pain in your playing, then that means something isn't aligned right. Something's not working right. And I think somebody like you who has been through that and has come up with a pedagogy, a technique to deal with that, I think you're the perfect person to come to. And I would say that just like I did, I think give it a try. I had no idea when I first saw your YouTube channel. I thought, well, we'll give it a try and see what happens. And I'm glad that I did. And I would recommend that if somebody, whether it's a younger player, seasoned player, that was another thing I had to get over too, was the fact that, I thought to myself, well, I've been playing for so many years. I've played professionally. Do I really need this? And when I look back, I have to say, yes, I did need this. I would say to people, definitely give your method a chance. Some of that might involve a little bit of dealing with your own pride. I know I had to deal with that. Because I thought to myself, well, do I really need another violin teacher, especially at my age? But in your case, I did. And I'm glad that I joined, and there's been a lot of benefits, and I think there will continue to be benefits the longer that I study with you. So I would definitely say give it a shot. Well, one, I think that anytime that we can play with our body being more aligned, I think anything that we do, whether it's sports, whether it's exercise, violin playing, whatever we do, I think the alignment part is really crucial. And I'll share one thing that happened to me for many years is that, so I think sometimes players who are more advanced, I remember talking to colleagues of mine when I was taking lessons when I was younger. This was about 20 years ago. And they would look at me and they would say, why are you taking lessons? As if that was something that happened in college, because they weren't taking lessons. Now, granted, they were good players. They were all good players. But I told them, I said, I'm taking lessons because I need to take lessons. I want to get better. I would say to those people, strive, even if you're playing Paganini and fancy virtuoso stuff, you can be better. You can get better. And a lot of that has to do with your body being aligned and really learning how to listen to yourself.
And then learn the technique from that place, right?
it was very difficult for me to relearn because there's been so many years of me playing a certain way. And if I don't think about it and if I don't practice it a certain way, a lot of those old habits come back. But if you're willing to put in the dedication and the commitment to change your foundational approach to the violin, I think you will find it worthwhile. And I think you'll play, even if you're a good player, I think you'll be a better player. The program has been good for me. I really enjoy interacting with students who are maybe my age, but are just starting out, or maybe they played a long time ago and they're kind of restarting. I like the interaction between advanced players and the more beginning players. I think that we can all learn from each other. I mean, when I look at players that are coming back into playing, or maybe just starting when there are things that you see them doing that, even though it's basic, they're doing it right. It's all there, and hopefully those students can also benefit from more advanced players and just listening to them and how they produce sound, how they're able to play more advanced repertoire and things like that. So to me, it's kind of like a symbiotic kind of a relationship. And you mentioned one other thing I wanted to mention is imposter syndrome. I have dealt with that in many aspects of my life, not just violin playing, but violin playing is definitely one of them. And even today, it's one thing to be able to practice by yourself in your practice room, but one of the things that I still have a fear about is going back into the professional world and playing like in an orchestra, because you put yourself out there in front of your peers. And so there's a part of me that feels a bit of that imposter syndrome, but you've helped with that. You've helped with that. It's still something that I deal with. And I think a lot of musicians, even though they might not know how to put a word to it, I think do suffer from imposter syndrome. For the most part, just listening to you and what you have to say. I think the thing that I have found the most beneficial, or one of the things that I've found the most beneficial with this program, is the fact that I had to take a leap of faith to decide to study with you, but you believed in me. And that's not always the way it works with teachers. Sometimes you study with somebody and you're just another student, but I've never felt that way with you, regardless of the fact that I was 58 when I started playing with you and had all these technical hurdles and things like that. You believed that I could do better. And that is such a motivating factor. Now, you didn't tell me I was going to be the next Itzhak Perlman. You didn't tell me things that were, of course not, but you told me that I could be better than I was today. And that's important, that's powerful. And I think that has been probably one of the biggest things that I've gotten from this program, is the fact that you're that way, whether it's a new student starting out or an experienced student. You're very precise about what things need to be corrected. And that's good, because that's what you need to be. But at the same time, you're also very uplifting, kind of not the right word, but you know what I mean? It's kind of I never feel like, oh, I just had a horrible lesson. Even if I did, you can still help me to find 2 or 3 things that were good about the lesson. And then that propels me forward to next week. So, and I think, like I said, in my experience, not every teacher has been that way with me. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy about your program and your teaching.
Love that. Yeah, because I actually truly believe in you. I believe in all my students, actually. Like they can do better, and then there is always the way to get better. And then I'm just taking responsibility to lead them to that path. And then it just becomes like collaboration, because we want the same thing. Yeah, we want the journey to be enjoyable, not like discouraging. So
Right.
yeah, that's something that's just part of it. It's very important to enjoy the journey. So I enjoy that way too, like when I interact with my students with the belief, and then just guide them, and then seeing them change. That's the joy that I feel. So it's actually the synergy effect that we are feeling
Yes.
together, like just like enjoying the journey together. Time flies. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
I started my violin playing 1 year and 3 months ago, because I always wanted to play piano or violin, but I heard all my life that it is very difficult and it is too difficult. Now I am older. I was 58 at that time, and I was thinking, what can I lose? I can try. I saw a Facebook advertisement and I thought the lessons were fun. So I started lessons in presence here in Bratislava, where I live. I got a very nice, very young teacher, and later on came an issue with my back pain, and she couldn't really help 100% with it because I have this hypermobility. My joints are very mobile and it causes pain, and when the muscles are not strong enough, the body posture is wrong. And it was my problem all life long. I wanted to play despite of that, or because of that. I love music, and it's a big joy and energy within music. So I wanted to try. And then when I was stuck with pain, I was looking for another resources, and I found you, and I thought holistic approach, not on how to play notes, but also everything within, because I was quite anxious and I couldn't play in my lessons so at home, and it made me feeling angry, and that didn't help to play better. So it was so in circle I couldn't break. And your approach and your kindness and expertise helped me a lot. It was different. We did begin with exercise, our body, and also breathing exercise, so I can calm down. It was very different because with my teacher, I was so excited. I couldn't calm down. You cannot say calm down and you are calm. So, but this exercise made me calm down, and I've seen these exercises can be pleasant, and I felt very good, so I wanted to do it after lesson or in my free time. So it was not only to come with music, also with body awareness and feeling on body. So I never learned that, and I think it is very important to be happy.
True.
My violin playing get better when I was calm and I can concentrate better, and I found it is not so difficult. It is possible to learn. When I was learning something and it was going well, it made me so happy. I wanted to learn more, and my goal was only to practice every day 1 hour or half an hour or even 10 minutes, because I work long shifts on the day. When I work 12 hours and I travel to work, I couldn't do more else than or 20 minutes, but I wanted to do it every day because it's from neuroscience that the brain needs to repeat so that the neuropath is built properly.
True. And then you had this joy and motivation and inspiration that you wanted to do it because it was more fun and easy, and you saw the potential in you that you could do better, right? Throughout the program.
Yes, throughout the program, I did both, exercising my upper body and learning how to hold the violin, how to hold the bow. And my problem was also reading notes. And it was one message from you which made me realize why I have such a problem with it very deep in me, that I can't do it because I was told so as a little child. And this memory, when the memory came back, I whined, and then I didn't have this block more. And these little improvements make me so happy that I can do it out in other fields of my life. And it's a great source of joy, my violin playing, when I can play a piece, when I know how to learn, because it is important to know the technique. It is how important when someone tells you, oh, your hand is not properly placed, and you can do it perfectly perfectly from from America to Europe. I don't understand how can you do it, but you can with my low internet coverage. I have both. I have online lessons and I have in-person lessons as well. I need these online lessons badly because it gives me something which the in-person lesson doesn't. It is my teacher is very nice, but she is young. She's a professional violinist, but she just ended education and I couldn't find teacher with so many experience and so gross expertise because they don't teach adult beginners, of course. They so I would say when an online teacher is such a profi, it is more than in-person lesson with a nice student.
I can catch what you're doing even from the screen, and then making that small adjustment makes a big difference in your playing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
My confidence level, yeah, of course, because when you see you did something good and it can happen every week, then you have more trust in yourself, and it makes the life so much better. Quality of life is then better. It is a small process and one realizes not what is happening, but I did in my work. We have a tish. Before some time I was in my night shift, I was trying to put my hands down and don't stay on legs, but keep my body upright only with hands on the dish. I don't know if you understand. And and I was doing it now after 1 year playing, and I realized I can stay very long so in this position because my upper body is strong and also my body healthing is much better.
And your posture
My
was,
body posture is much better. Yes,
oh my
yes.
goodness. I love that.
My goal at the beginning, I have only goal to play in church Ave Maria. Now my goal is I would love to join orchestra, not professional of course, but this community orchestra,
Yes.
to enjoy music with other players and make friends. And because as a child I wanted to learn piano, but you never saw, try or hear pianists playing together. But with violin it is possible, and the sound is really beautiful, and I'm stunned from possibility which gave when one use bow, dynamic and more possibilities for comparing to piano. So violin is
You,
yet my
you play beautifully too, Elena.
thank you.
Your sound is really warm and beautiful. I can feel that your heart is coming through your sound. So you have beautiful heart, and then you have a way to convey that through your sound. So that's just really like delightful for me to watch. You flourishing in your music and finding joy in your music and really getting excited with the next step.
When I didn't find this group, I think I wouldn't be able to play anymore because of pain, and my body posture was even worse with not right way of playing. On the top, it gave me so much from other fields in life. I never wanted to pay a big sum. I wanted to find free resources. But after I saw what can I get from you, I thought I have to give something back, and that's my payment. Of course, my love too, but one need to pay bills. So it's a beautiful exchange, and I am very happy I've met you.
I'm very happy I met you too. And when you pay more attention. When you don't
Of
pay, you don't
course.
really get it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
anything out of
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
You can maybe get the temporary resources, but it's not like lasting results. But
Not lasting, and it's not together in the right order and one after another. So
okay, thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your testimonials.